for some of the stats that I will share regarding these fires that happened in California. Um, devastating situation that has happened. Um, I am sending prayers and anything else I can do more than that, as far as like donating to any type of legitimate, uh, because I don't want to just donate to anybody. I'm very much, just like with the whole what happened within Florida, that I could have spoke on. Could have done some stuff on that. I understood. I could speak on what happened in North Carolina, in Florida as well with the hurricanes there, what's going on there. And in fact, I will speak on that stuff more as I get more updates on what's going on in those places, especially in North Carolina. Um, but yeah, and I've been speaking about it, just not on podcasts, but I have some stats here in regards to the situation. But again, sending prayers out. Anything else that I can do, like spreading the word on information. Anybody want to, come on this podcast, especially because I do plan on bringing interviews back. So if you want to come on and talk about what's going on down there and share any type of news, anything, please feel free to reach out to me. Um, and yeah, I'll try to leave the email for now in the description box below because I am going to revamp the Instagram account. Stats that I have, um, as of, and this is ChatGPT. This is information that I searched up today, but it's going to name dates or a date from 3 days ago. So it says, since January 7th, approximately 35,000 acres have burned across Los Angeles County, per Business Insider. The Palisade Fire, the largest fire of the current fires, it has consumed over 20,000 acres in the Pacific Palisades area, and it is only 6% contained via Time magazine. Okay. Eaton Fire, burning in the Altadena and Pasadena regions, it has scorched at least 13,000 acres with zero containment. That's Times and the Sunday Times, or the Times and the Sunday Times. Human impact. Fatalities, at least 10 people have lost their lives due to the fire, with numbers expected to rise as search efforts continue. Time. All right. When I say time and stuff, that's the source I'm getting it from. Evacuations. Over 180,000 residences have been evacuated from affected areas. The Times and the Sunday Times. Structural damage. More than 10,000 structures, including homes and businesses, have been destroyed via Time magazine once again. Economic impact. The fires are projected to be the costliest in California's history, with a total economic loss of potentially reaching $50 billion. Business Insider states that. Business Insider also states that over 8,000 firefighter personnel are actively battling the blazes, facing challenges such as strong Santa Ana winds and dry conditions. Okay? Again, this is stuff I looked up on ChatGPT. The effects of the tragedy, the numbers, and all that stuff. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I do, but there are certain things I'm going to say for next week because as I was prepping for this episode, I wanted to plan or prep 2 weeks in ahead, so I'm not at least taking off another couple days or so, another couple weeks. If I can stretch out topics or stretch out talking points, I will. Um, So with that being said, I'm not going to say every single thing that I want to talk about in this episode here, because there are other things in relation to this situation that I want to discuss next week. Okay? But I do want to talk about this individual here. How California, those, when I say California, I mean the people who are in charge of preventing this from happening, how they are the reason this happened. We're not going to go into climate change. We're not going to go into maybe the conspiracies of maybe it was arson, maybe it's someone trying to benefit from it. Until I get information on any of all this stuff, I'm going to leave that stuff alone. But what isn't a conspiracy is something could have been done about it prior to this, and it hasn't been done, and it wasn't done. The mayor of California, her name being, let me go, and we're going to watch this video too, right? Oh, yeah. I'm going to share the screen. I'm telling you, I am tired, but I am pushing through because I miss doing this. All right. Let me stop. Let me pause this video. But Karen Bass is the mayor of Los Angeles, California, for those who don't know. She is the first Black woman to have been elected mayor of California. Uh, if that type of stuff matters to you, I think you should expect more from your politicians than their sex and gender. Now, anyone who is a recurring member of the Earnest Thoughts podcast, or even if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you know I've been preaching against stuff like that. This whole, you know, just celebrating people for their race and their gender and politics. You know, I've been vocally about against that for years. We're going on what almost 8, 9 years of this podcast. Almost damn near 10 year, I believe, 10 years, you know, of this podcast, the podcast, not the YouTube. I've been doing this for over 10 years. But since 2012. So yeah, the math is there, pop people. But yeah, I've been preaching against, you know, just celebrating folk for their race and their gender. A bad job is a bad job. And I'm not gonna withhold my criticism. One, I'm not gonna not say anything because I'm not a LA native. I'm not in LA. I'm not a LA native. I'm not from California. That does not mean that I shall not speak on these situations. It does not mean I cannot. It's the same situation when George Floyd happened, and some MFers try to tell me that I should not speak on the situation because I wasn't from Minnesota. I believe that's where it happened, right? Because I don't know the store owner who called the cops on George Floyd for the $20 bill. When I said, and I still stand by this, by the way, that store owner or whoever called the cops in that store, their blood, George Floyd's blood is on their hands as well. Because you called the cops on somebody instead of just kicking them out the damn store over a fake $20 bill. Yes, I still stand on that. Yes, I'm going to still keep talking about this or any other situation that happens inside and outside of Massachusetts because it's my American right to do so. With that being said, yes, I am a Massachusetts resident talking about California right now. I am a Boston resident talking about Los Angeles right now. And you ain't going to do shit about it other than click off, thumbs down, or not listen, not subscribe. All right? Those are the only choices you have. Okay? Plausible ones. All right? Now, with that being said, yeah, I'm going to talk about Karen Bass and a horrible job she did handling the situation. I won't even say handling. She didn't handle the situation at all. But the horrible job she did within this situation and I'm not in Cali, so I can't tell you if she's doing a outside of this. Obviously, I can't tell you if she's doing a bad job, but I do know people in Cali. I do pay attention to commentators in Cali and from Cali or live there and stuff, and nobody's fucking with this woman. And it's got nothing to do with her race. It's got nothing to do with her gender. It's got nothing to do with her sexuality. It's got everything to do with how incompetent she is. And what I want black folks to stop doing is to stop this idea that we got to get a black person in the office, whatever that office is, the White House, the local offices. If they're not going to make sure that black folks are safe, they're not going to make sure all the people under their constituency are safe. Get them the fuck up out of the paint. Do not elect them. It don't matter what their skin color, sexuality, all that other stuff is. Now, I understand I'm speaking to deaf ears when it comes to liberals and white liberal ideology in general, because it's all about the optics. It's all about the optics. We got to get this person in. We got to all this other BS, right? It ain't about real substantial change. But this woman did a horrible fucking job with this situation. She knew exactly what was happening. She knew this was going to happen, and she did nothing. This is almost as bad. It's probably even worse because at least George Bush, not saying that going to war was a good idea, but at least he responded to the terrorist attacks with, we're going to war. Now, how the hell do you go to war against forest fires or just fires in general? Well, how about you not to fund the fire department to fund the fucking police that's going around and they're taking pride in, we're going to do our job and our job is to terrorize the people. With that funding that we got, we're going to use these newly weapons, these militarized weapons and gear that we have to terrorize the people. This is fundamentally a problem all over the United States, especially in Cop City out there in Georgia. But this is a problem all over the United States, and it's not a problem in that either of the two parties, the Democrats or the Republicans, want to fix. They both fund the police. So this whole idea of, these dumbass Republicans have that Democrats are just anti-cop is bullshit. Democrat voters, and they even be bullshitting, but they might be anti-cop, but Democrat Republicans are not anti-cop. You cannot tell me you're anti-cop and you're taking away funding from other you're taking away funding from others to fund these motherfuckers. And everyone who responded with, well, the cops should be out there fighting the fires then. Sounds like, I mean, some people going to be like, well, they're not trained, obviously. They can't do it. Well, with that funding, maybe they should be trained. Maybe they should be trained. And I don't care if they're like, well, I've signed up to be a police officer, not a firefighter. Y'all signed up supposedly to protect and serve, and y'all don't do that neither. So it's like, how about you actually do something? If you gonna do something that's outside of your job description, do something that's gonna benefit folks. But this woman is absolutely disgusting. Let's share this screen because this episode is already long enough, right? I'm gonna share this screen because we're gonna watch this. Yep. All right. So again, this is Karen Bass, and this is her quote response. Response. I'm using air quotes for the audio listeners out there. This is her response to being asked, rightfully so, about her response, in quotation marks, air quotes, of what just happened. What's happening at this moment in time in LA?
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Do you?
So, someone who is outside of the United States traveled to the United States, and it's not me just assuming the accent because I believe this is actually a like a foreigner who is covering the story. So they came to the United States and they're asking the questions that American journalists should be asking. But instead, you got people saying, "Could you back up, please? Can you back up, please? How dare you ask her these questions? She is a black woman. She is a black. You do not ask her. You don't ask a black woman who's incompetent at her job why she's not doing her fucking job. She get away with it. Not over here. Not over here. But the journalist asked, for those who are the audio listeners and you can't see the video, the journalist is asking her questions and she's looking dumbfounded, literally just staring at the dude dumbfounded. No response at all. No response. Now, this is a cut version of the video that I saw. The full video is pretty much the same thing, except she ends up walking away silently, didn't say anything, right? To my knowledge, she has yet to respond. Let's see if she even got a fucking Twitter. She probably do. Let's see if there's any type of fake ass platitudes on Twitter. Um, if we could find her Twitter, Mayor Karen Bass. Okay, we got it. She retweeted SBA.gov tweet. She her 1 hour ago tweets FEMA representatives are on the ground now in all caps in Los Angeles. Every resource possible is being deployed from our federal partners. Thank you, FEMA and FEMA Dion, whoever the fuck that is, for your immediate support of Los Angeles and the entire Southern California region face and the entire Southern California region face dangerous wildfires. Lady, this doesn't even make sense grammatically. It's not me fucking up. Let me show y'all again. Let me share screen. And if I'm fucking up because I'm tired, I'll own up to it. But let's read this again. FEMA representatives are on the ground now in Los Angeles. Okay, that makes sense. That's grammatically correct. Every resource possible is being deployed from our federal partners. Another grammatically correct sentence. Thank you, FEMA and FEMA Diani, however you say her name, for your immediate support as Los Angeles and the entire Southern California region face dangerous wildfire. Okay, it was me fucking up with the reading. Now that I read it again, it does make sense. The bitch is still stupid. I don't give a fuck. All right. You called her a bitch. Ooh. Yeah, that's the least problematic thing here going on right now. But she is making tweets. And of course, quoting, oh man, I'm gonna get pissed off. I can't wait till that nigga out the fucking White House. Anyways, um, yeah, the tweets ain't doing shit. You thanking people now. She was in Ghana, by the way, for those who are wondering. She wasn't even in the United States while these fires, happened. When things started, I believe, a couple days ago, on the 7th, right? She was in Ghana. She had to rush back to the United States. That people are gonna make excuses to be like, well, she was tired. That's why she didn't answer. She was tired. Don't you know? It's your fucking job. Y'all make these excuses for these politicians. And then when shit, this is why they continue to fuck up. Well, at least one of the reasons. We y'all continuously always making excuses for them. It is her fucking job. I don't give a fuck where she is coming from. No one made her go to Ghana. Nobody knows why she was there, but there's speculation as to why. We not going to get into it here, but she made the choice to go to Ghana. She made that choice. Again, she knew this shit was happening. And she abandoned her own people to go abroad. I don't give a fuck about, well, she's tired and that's her fucking job. She signed up for the fucking job. It's going to keep you up at night when you got to figure some shit out. When you got to travel from here to here, especially when you the one that made the fucking choice to travel abroad. Your work just doesn't stop as a mayor, as a politician, because you traveled outside your fucking jurisdiction. That was your choice. Whether she was still in Ghana, she still should have been doing her job, but she's most effective, or at least should be most effective at doing her job when she's in Los Angeles, where she is the mayor, not the mayor of Ghana or some other place, some city in Ghana, wherever territories in Ghana. Los Angeles. So I cut the fucking excuses. You bootlicking ass bitches. I don't give a fuck who offended. We not listening to any of y'all shit. It's 2025. Wake the fuck up. This woman's incompetence. She knew what the fuck was going on. Now she want to talk about FEMA funding and all this other shit to deflect from the fact that she is the reason. She is the reason. She made the decision to give all the funding to fucking police and take it away from firefighters. 8,000, as ChatGPT said, 8,000 firefighters. 8,000? Really? A fire of this magnitude, one would think you're going to need a lot more than 8,000 people to help put these fires out. And that's a shame because 8,000 people is a lot of people. But that's not even as much as is needed to handle this situation. It's upsetting because she knew about it. Politicians do this shit all the time. They know about problems, and yet they do nothing about it. And then when shit hits the fan, when shit blows up in their face, no type of ownership, no type of had she owned up to it and sincerely was like, listen, I made a bad decision. I apologize. I wouldn't have this vitriol for her. I would bring it up and be like, okay, at least she knows, and let's see what she does. But yeah, I got this smoke for her. I don't give a fuck if she a black woman or not, black man, black whoever. Don't care how she identifies sexually. I don't care. I don't. People are losing or lost their livelihood because of this woman's incompetence. Los Angeles, I am begging y'all to get her the fuck up out of here. Now I know there are gonna be people that mention, well, it was worse before her. There is always a better option. I kid you not. There are always third party options that are a lot better than the main two candidates. We just have to be educated on them. We have to support them. This whole idea, and I said this all over the podcast, this whole idea that people don't have a fighting chance, we create the fighting chance. if this last election hasn't taught you anything, if Bitcoiners haven't taught you anything with this last election, is we don't give up. This whole fighting chance shit is BS. Because when you go out and you vote, when you go out and you actually make your voice be heard, it will be heard. People will listen. So your next mayor, Los Angeles, should be someone who genuinely has the residents of Los Angeles, their best interests at heart. Personally speaking, I'd say find someone who is homegrown. I don't know if Karen Bass is grew up in LA. I don't know much about her other than she's incompetent as fuck. Right? That's that. And some ties to Ghana and some other political ties that she got going on. Outside of that, I don't know if she grew up in Los Angeles, but preferably get someone who is homegrown and get someone who truly, 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 truly cares about the wonderful people out there in LA. Not someone that's going to give you platitudes. And it don't matter if this person is black, white, Mexican, or not. Let's not vote because of gender. Let's not vote because of skin color. That shit has never worked out for us ever. Ever. We voted for Obama because of it, and look what happened. We continue to vote for black folks because black men in office, black women in office, and ain't shit happening. You go to these other cities with black mayors and black politicians and stuff, black aldermen. And these places have some of the worst conditions for black folks within these cities. And I can also bring up the fact that these are Democratic ran cities too, but I don't want to make it a Democrat versus Republican thing. Although that's not to say there isn't a correlation that we should pay attention to when it comes to these Democrat ran cities and incompetence and BS and stuff, right? The same leftists that claim to care about climate change and stuff do very little to nothing to do to combat that, right? The same politicians or leftists who claim that they want funding for education, funding for everything except for the police, will then vote for politicians who want to fund the police. So I am not blaming residents when I say this, but I am saying when you vote for these motherfuckers, especially just based off their skin color and gender or sexual orientation or even religion, supposed religion. What you're saying is you're ignoring their actions based off of these identifiers that you feel as though is more important than their actual actions. That's something you're going to have to live with wherever you are. I'm speaking to America at this point, not, just Los Angeles, not just California, all the other states in the United States. Red, blue, in between. When you just going based off of these identifiers, when that has that ever done good for the American people? It hasn't. So let's get common sense, competent politicians who actually care about the people in these offices, in these positions. Mayor seat, the White House, on the city council, Senate, wherever. That's all I have to say about this situation. Once again, prayers for those affected by this devastating fire. I'll continue to talk about this as more developments come out. Like I said, I do have more to say in regards to other things relating to this fire. That will be discussed next week. I'm going to end off the podcast here. Yeah, I'm going to end it off here. Peace out.